Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather and today I'm actually going to finally get to my Christmas wreath. So I got this wreath form at the secondhand store. I paid $2.25 and just had my measuring tape. Say like this is about 12 inches or so, I think. Yeah, my cutting board's about 12 inches, so this is a bit bigger than 12 inches. I think once I flip it out, it's probably going to be about that 14, 15 inches. So I'll have to go and fluff this out. I will do that off camera only because of my arm. It's going to take a little longer to fluff this all out. And then to add some more fullness to this wreath, I have this big basket floral that I have that was sitting on my front step that I did in the fall. I'm going to take all the little pine branches off of it and add them into here. So I'll do that in a little bit. I'm just going to show you what else I've got. I'm just going to move these over. I've got lots of different ribbons because I wasn't quite sure. I knew I want to do red, green, and gold this year, so I just brought out my best ribbons. So I got this big double pack here of this ribbon. So this one's kind of like it looks like an antique. It looks really old type of a ribbon, and this is a gold one. I got it at a garage sale for $4. I've had this for so many years. For $4, I knew it was not the color schemes that I wanted, but I knew for $4 it was a good value. I'm just wondering if it has an original price tag on here. No, it doesn't. I don't even know where it would have been bought from because I don't go and spend a lot of money on ribbon. But $4 for this amount of ribbon. Just trying to read if it's. If I can find the English. So it's all in French. Yeah, it came from Quebec. So both sides are all in French. I'm just trying to figure out how to read the size. I'm not quite sure. Well, 54.9 meters. In total, I guess it's in total because it's got, yeah, it's got the two sides. Okay, if I read it, I can kind of figure this out if I just read the centimeter ones. So it's, the smaller ribbon is 1.5 inches, and it's a total of 27.4 meters. The larger ribbon is 2.5 inches, and it's a total of, 27.4 meters. So that's quite a lot of ribbon. I mean, it's not as much as I think it would be, but it's still a good amount of ribbon. Then I've got this other gold ribbon here. I don't know how much or brand or anything on this. I just know that this ribbon and a bunch of other ribbons I got several years ago in a big bag of ribbon from Value Village. Probably paid close to $10 for these. Could have even been in two separate bags. But this is the ribbon I was thinking I'd probably use this year. And then this one I found just a couple weeks ago at a thrift store, and it was $2.50. I don't usually spend that kind of money, like brand new pricing for ribbon, but I knew it was a really better deal. Well, it's just from London Drugs. So $2.50, I mean, that's what I'd pay at the dollar store for a roll of ribbon, and I like the color, and it's got the gold, and it makes this little X pattern. I forget what that pattern's called, but I knew that this ribbon also had it. So this is the ribbon I'm going to use to make my bow for this wreath, so I'm putting the other gold ribbons away. I have got these bells I bought at the dollar store a couple weeks ago. So I bought the red one and the green one, so I just get 2 red and 2 green. Then I have all these other doorknob Christmas hangers that I've bought over the years. As you can see, this one doesn't even have any bells left. This is just one of those things. When I was looking for Christmas bells one year, I couldn't find anything, but I was able to find a bunch of these one year after Christmas, and so I bought these to give me the bells. Then of course there's other pieces on here like this nice Santa hat. I can still use that for an interesting decoration. Of course the ribbon and the bows on these I can use for other things as well. So you just, again, if you can't find what you're looking for, you can always find something similar and kind of piece things together. Then of course I have all these things of the Christmas ball ornaments. I bought 3 packs of the green. We get the 12 per pack. And I bought 3 packs of the red. And then I bought 2 packs of these ones are the 15, so you get the red, green, and the gold. It's not quite the gold I like, but you know, it's Dollar Tree, so you kind of get whatever. And these ones here, I've got 2 packs of these 15 ornaments as well. So I don't really like that shade of gold, but I do have gold spray paint, I think, but I decided I'm not going to use these this year. What I'm going to use instead is I got these other ornaments. So these ones I bought from Dollarama. So I paid $2.25 for this little pack here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of these ones, but I have these ones. I did pay $3.50 a pack for these ones, and you get 20 pieces. But they've got the stars, bells, and the little balls that look more like a disco ball. So I bought them in this shade of green and the red. So these are the 2 I'm going to use. So I'm just gonna put all this other stuff aside. I want them rolling everywhere. And then the other thing I'll be using is, I was looking for some mesh. I do have a little bit, but I didn't have any red or green. So I found these ones at Dollarama, so $2 a roll, and they just call this colored fabric, but it's like a tulle or a mesh type product, and this was the closest I could find. And so because of this shade of green, I just think these just are not quite, these are just kind of just not quite the right shade of green, but I think these ones here complement this shade of green better. So first thing I'm going to do is just show you how I cut my mesh or tulle or whatever you're using to start the first bit of the wreath. Just give me 1 second, just gotta move this stuff out of my way. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I make my little, move these bundles out of the way. Yes, I did. I went and pulled all these out of that other floral arrangement, and I got my wreath form all fluffed out. So when doing these, I want to make about 12-inch long little bundles. So I'm going to make 8 of them. So I'm just going to wrap my board. It's going to be a little bit bigger, you know, within that, you know, little give or take kind of thing. So I'm just going to wrap this around the board 8 times. Oh, look at that, 8 times and the roll is like used up. So that tells me I can even do this even easier. Oops. Okay, I wasn't quite sure how long this is. It's sometimes tricky. I'm not much of a sewer. Don't really read the lengths of things. I just gotta cut this extra pieces here off. So I need 8 pieces. So I'm gonna fold this into 8 if I can. Oh, I cannot. About 8 pieces, and I'm just going to cut. through. It's just so thin. I can't even tell if I'm cutting through all the layers or not. Two, three. I missed this one. I started, just not all the way through. Okay, got 8 pieces of the green. I'm going to do the same for the red. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 of the red. So now I'm going to make these little twisty bundles that I love to make when I do my wreaths. And I'm just going to take it. And I'm covered in all these faux pine needle things. I'm just going to pinch it. Like that, and I kind of get a little bow, and then I'm just going to pull it up, kind of like when I'm making my napkins. So I'll get a little bundle like this. And I realized I forgot my zip ties. I'm just using these red zip ties. I buy it from the Dollar Tree. You get like 50 or 60 in a pack. I like the small ones. I do buy the long ones too, but I'm gonna use the zip ties. Actually, when I'm doing this, I actually prefer, instead of the zip ties, I actually prefer the wire, like floral wire or something, but I just don't know where my floral wire is, so I'm going to use zip ties today. And that will just help hold them together. So I'm just going to continue making all these little bundles. Pinching it, and then I get my finger in here, and that's where I'm going to slip the zip tie through. And I'm one of those people who always, every once in a while, I will pull and I did that. Yes. I know I'm one of those people who I pull the zip tie through the wrong way so many times. I don't know why. I guess it just... One thing I like about the zip ties is it's easier to pull tight. So I'm just going to continue making all these little bundles. So there'll be like 16 little things in total. And this is optional. Like I said, I prefer using the mesh or the tulle, but I couldn't find it in red or green. So this is what I found at the dollar store. So this is what I've decided to use. So I'm just going to continue I'm just going to continue making these bundles, and when I get them all made, then I'll be right back. Okay, so this will be the last one. Now, I know I just showed that I had one bundle of each color, but no, I had 2 packs of the red and 1 pack of the green. So I have 8 green and 16 red little bundle things here. I don't know what you call them. Little bows or flowers or whatever. They kind of look like either. And of course I did that one backwards. I can't see the number of these. I cannot tell. Doing zip ties, I cannot see the little mark things on there. Can't tell you the number of times I've made them wrong. So that is 3 rolls of this fabric. I paid $2 each at Dollarama. So I had 2 red and 1 green. These out of the way now. Now we'll go back to the wreath, which I've fluffed out mostly. Kind of given myself a flat back. And I just kind of, I've got a nice flat back. Oh, that one just came off, but that's okay. I will fix that in a second. Done that to a few of them. Just, you know, twist them too far the one way. And you kind of just pull them off. So that's so I got a flat, the back will be. And I've got all these other, just gonna move this mesh stuff out of my way. Gotta bring these other pine picks over here. And I'm gonna hot glue these into this wreath. Just gonna make sure I've got them all. So I dropped some on the floor. I mean, I don't have to. I can probably wire these in, but I'm going to hot glue these in just so I can get some, just so I know that they're in here and they will stay. Glue gun does not want to work. I just have a chunk of glue that's just kind of stuck. Just put it behind there. I'll retry this and see. Okay, now it's working. Just gonna glue these kind of in around wherever. Just straighten them out. This will just kind of give me some other green in here. Kind of help fill out some of these little bit emptier spaces, and these are a couple, like, I don't know, just different color picks. And they are coated in lots of hot glue because these were off of a different wreath that I had bought quite a few years ago that I took apart. So I love taking little picks and things apart and just creating something new out of existing stuff. I'm just going to continue to glue these in. gluing my fingers together. I'm putting some facing up, some facing down, just kind of however. I'm just trying to make sure they're all going kind of the same direction though. So I'm just going to continue gluing these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think about 16 more of these little picks to glue in. So I'll be back when I get these picks all glued in. I definitely have to say this does not look like that same little wreath I bought for $2.50. It looks so much better. If I was gonna, I can even just stop here, add some pine cones and red berries and it would look good. But I'm just going to continue doing this. I'm just fluffing this up and out, and yeah, now I'm ready to add in these. So I'm going to do red, red, green. So I'm going to figure out where I want to be the top of the wreath. Just gotta figure that one out first. I think I want this to be the top. It's kind of where I thought the top was going to be, but it was hard to see when it's laying in front of me on the... So now I'm going to just take this. I'm going to use the zip tie part as, you know, like a pick, and I'm just going to push it through here and hot glue it into place. One of the things I think I'd like to get, because I love making wreaths and I love using picks, is that simmering pot, the glue pot thing I've seen a lot of crafters use. It'd be so much easier to do this type of stuff where you can just stick the picks and stuff in the glue instead of having to use the glue gun. So I will look into that. I'll tell my husband, maybe that's what I'll get for Christmas. Glue these all around. I said I've got 16 red and 8 of the green. This is going to take a little while to glue all these 24 of these in here. I'm just going to alternate. I'm just going to go around this whole outside. So I'm just going to do like the 6, 12, or I guess 12, 6, and then 3, 9, and then go in between them, and then do the green in between. So I will be back when I get all the red and green in place, and then it'll be time to make the bow and then add the finishing touches. Okay, so I'm just going to glue on the last 2 red. Now, after doing a few, I found it easier just to cut the tail part off of the little zip tie, and then just put the hot glue up here at the top of this bundle and just kind of press it into the green and the greenery, hold it in place. So it took about 10 little picks, and I realized I just wasn't working that way. So last one. It would if it was a wire wreath, because then I can like wrap it around the wire, but this was not a wire wreath. This is a pine wreath, so it was not working the same. There we go. So I'm just going to hold this up so you can just see how big this is starting to look and how impressive it's starting to look. I love that. Oops, I see some of my tool fell out. I'll have to fix that in a second. Unless that was one that I didn't glue, because there was a few I was just kind of putting in spaces to hold it, but no, this one was glued in. I think I just pulled it when I lifted it up. Okay, let's get this one glued back in here. There. I'm just gonna fluff up the tulle a bit. Or this is not tulle, this is this other fabric mesh. This one also, just gonna have to go and fix a few of these places. If I just pull too hard on it, I'm pulling them right out of the greenery. There. I have this little gap up here at the top because this is where this is the top. So I have it, kind of have a space here so I can glue my final bow on from the top. I'm just gonna fluff this out so you can see the green and the red. Making sure everything is glued secure. If not, I can always just re-glue it in a little bit. So now I'm just gonna set this aside and I'm going to make my bow for the center. And I'm using these two ribbons here. Open this package. I prefer to work with wired ribbon. This just feels really nice. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. Clear this off. And I'm going to start with the tail. I want a 24-inch tail. Flip this around so I got my inches in front of me. So there's 12, there. I've got my 24-inch tail and I'm just going to pinch that. And I want to make it, let's see if I can twist this. I may not be able to. No, this wire ribbon here is so thin. I don't know if the wire is going to hold. So I'm just going to grab, I've got a binder clip. I'm going to grab a binder clip just so I can clip this here so I know where my tail ends. I'm going to make my loops of my bow, and I'd like them to be about, let's see, I think 8-inch loops. Put that at the 8-inch and do the one, give it a little twist. I'm not very good at doing this. Okay, I want to do a second one, so I'm just going to fold it there. So I'll get 2 8-inch loops. Maybe I'll do 3. I'll make those 3 of these nice big loops. Actually, I'll do 2 that, 2 8, and I'm going to do 6. I'll do 2 6 loops. 1, 2, and another 24-inch tail. So just loop it to about there. So that is my first bow, which I know I've got it going the wrong way, but I will fix that. I've got my measurements for this one, and then I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to make it a little smaller, so I'm just going to do a 10-inch tail, and then I'm going to do 8-inch loop. I'm just going to grab the binder clip again just so I've got this kind of held. There's a 10-inch tail. Yes. And I want to do an 8-inch loop. I'm going to do a second 8-inch loop. And then I'll do my, it's not lining up. Then I'm going to do a 4-inch loop. Make 3 of those. If I can get this to line up. I'm just trying to do some like little measurements here. I'm not very good at actually making bows, but I like to kind of like measure so I know about how much I'm going to use. Like that. Now, I don't make my bows like this. I actually make mine pieced together. Do that. Glue stuck to me. Okay, I've got my tail. I'm just going to snip all these pieces here. And these ones that are folded here, I snip because I piece my ribbons together. I'm not somebody who makes those. I'm not good at tying the bows. I don't have a bow maker. I'd like to get one. I've seen people make them, so maybe I'll figure out how to make my own bow maker and then figure out how to make bows better. But I have a way I love to make bows. So set this aside because that's this one. And then I'm going to take this one here, so that I just cut. So there's my there's the tails. And then these folded ones that are here, I just if you know how to make bows, make them. I have tried. I am not good at bow making. It's even harder right now with my arm, but so I've got those. 2 that size, 2 that size, the tails. This one here, I've got 3. 2 and the tails. So I'm going to start with the larger ones here, and I make mine simply by just folding my bows into loops, and I just kind of glue everything on top of each other. I just find it easier for me to do this way. Like that. And this one. Same thing. when I make these, then I get these little loops, and then I can make my bows like that. I just find it, this way is just easier for me. And then I will just layer all my bows. This one's a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna put the glue here and fold these two into the glue in the center. A little more glue there. Just make the bows however you find it easier to make. And I'll say at the end, nobody's going to tell how you make your bows if you glue them together, if you just, if you're able to loop them all and make them all in one continuous loop. I was looking for bow makers. They're like $40 last time I was looking. So I'm like, oh, I can wait, or I can try to make my own, and I just haven't had time to do that yet. And I did see one at a secondhand store, but they wanted like $20 for it. So I'm like, nope, not today. Still waiting. I love crafting, and I'd love to have all these little gadgets, but I'm not gonna go in and pay that kind of money for something that I don't necessarily really need, especially when I do this method. So I've got all my things here. I used to do the tails last, so I'm gonna start with this green loop here, and then this green loop, so they're the same size, although one's a little bit bigger, so put the one that's a little bit bigger on the bottom, and then I'm just gonna glue the loops on top of each other. Because it's when you fluff it out is where you will see the detail in the loops. Then I'll go to these ones. And I try to get all the glue centered kind of in the same spot. These ones, and I get this really nice layered bow. This one's a little smaller. I actually made one just a little bit smaller on purpose, just so it can be in the middle, last loop. So when I get all the loops glued, it looks like that, and then it's when I fluff them out is where you'll really see the really awesomeness of doing this. But I'm just gonna set this aside. I'm gonna do the tails. So for my tails, I'm just gonna look at these. Okay, looks like somebody, this has been repaired or something, stitched. I didn't do that. It's got this weird metal here. Probably from, on the spool. I don't know. Just make sure that that one goes to the back so you don't notice it. But I like to take this and put some glue across the top here, and then I just kind of fold it in on itself, kind of pinching it. So I get that kind of at the top, so that will the back. All this glue in my fingers now. And the last two tails. I'm going to take wherever I prefer to hide wherever it's really choppy and rough. This one's a little bit harder ribbon to work with. It just got all this glitter in it. Okay, so I've got all my tails kind of made, and I got this made. So now I can assemble my bows, starting with this tail. So I'm going to flip it to the back, and I'm going to glue this one on. I'm going to glue. Should have glued the other one first. I'm just going to try to hide that mistake thing. That's okay. The other ribbon will kind of help hide that. Okay. So I'm gluing from the back, not from the front, so I grabbed the wrong one first. That's okay. I could take them apart, but I just don't want to. I think that will look good. And then these smaller tails, I'm going to glue just up here underneath, so I get this layered effect. So for these ones, I'm actually putting glue inside this bottom loop, and I'm gluing it inside the loop. I kind of like to do that with the top layer of my ribbon when I'm doing the tails. I'll try and get the camera in a little closer if I can. Okay, so I just open up this last loop, and I just put all the glue right there. And push this tail in, and then press it down. And then I kind of get it where it's all kind of hidden more at the back. And I still think I need one more piece of ribbon, just a small piece, just to kind of tie all that in. So I'm just gonna grab this one here. I'm just gonna cut a small strip of this one. As a finishing touch, I will do that after I flip these up. This is not glued together. Okay. I will say that happens sometimes too. I might, not fully glue pieces together. I'm just gonna start flipping. too. Got my bow almost done. Just gonna keep fluffing it. And this little strip here, just a little bit neater. Tuck it in here for one final loop in the middle, so it's kind of off. Oops, that didn't work. There. So I've got my bow kind of done. I'm just going to attach my bow to this, to the wreath, and then I can finish fluffing up the bow once I've got it attached. So to attach it, I'm going to grab a zip tie. I'm just going to slip the zip tie through this. I can just I don't think you can even see the bow. You know what, I'm going to change the way the bow sits. I'm going to have, this will be the bottom. I'm going to have the bow going downward. This in here, zip tie this on. Reach. That. I'm gonna put 2 zip ties in there. I gotta go grab longer zip ties. So I'll be back as soon as I get the bow zip tied, and then I can start adding the other decorations. Alright, so I've got the bow zip tied on, and then just to help with the back, where the zip tie is, I put some glue, and I've glued some of this greenery over top so it won't scratch my door. I'm not quite sure if I can get it in view, but right here is where the 2 zip ties come across, so I've kind of hidden them under there. So now I'm going to take Christmas ornaments and I'm going to put them in the inside part of this. I'm just going to see if I can get this to angle just a little bit higher. There. So I've got these green ones and these red ones. These are the ones I'm going to use. I'm saving the little tassel string because I'm not using it for these, but I can use it for another project. I had these ones. I'm not going to use these ones because these 2 packs here are 20, so that gives me 40 ornaments. I think this will be just enough. Now I'm going to take the little caps off. I'm going to keep these. I'm just going to glue these on just all around. So the little caps off first, if I can. Okay. Take a couple off and then you figure out how they come off even faster. I'm going to do a little pattern. But I always keep these little ornament toppers because sometimes I find, you know, like ornaments lose their little toppers, or if I'm crafting, I mean, I can use these for other crafts. I'm not quite sure what I can use them for, but I'm one of those people who, if I don't use something for one craft, I can always find another project to use them on. Other ornaments in the next few years, sometimes they just lose their little caps. I think I've got, no, I think I've got them all done, and I see I've missed a whole pile over here. Okay. So I'm just gonna glue these on. Not that one, I wanted the shiny red. I'm trying to do a pattern. So I can just see the shape. I'm looking for the bells, and I can't see the bells. I just kind of, oh, I'm looking at this angle, everything just kind of looks the same. So I'm just gonna move. Oops. Wrong one. So I'm just gonna continue gluing these on. I just can't quite see my pattern I'm trying to make. Just trying to make sure I'm gluing the right ones where I want them. Trying to make a pattern. Now I think I've kind of ruined my pattern I was trying to make. I'm trying to do this upside down and I'm just, it's okay. I'm just gonna continue gluing these on now. As long as I get like a red and a green beside each other. Let's see, put some bells over here. I'm just going to continue gluing these on and I'll be back with it hanging on my front door so you can see what it finally looks like. So here's the completed wreath. I did show these decorations with the little bells. I forgot to show as I glued them on. I'm going to hang it up with this magnetic wreath hanger. I got it at Dollarama for $2.75. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to see how well this will work. And I made a quick wreath hanger using just two zip ties. I used the long white one so it could go all the way around the form, and then I used a second red one just so then the zip tie will be facing the right way. So I'm just going to hang it on the inside of my door for now. Just want to see if this will work. Just want to see how it looks. Just want to flip everything up so make sure. Actually, this wreath is too heavy for this. Oh. I'm actually kind of disappointed now. My wreath is too heavy for the... Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a different way to hang up my wreath. I'm glad I tested it. I don't know, it doesn't say what the weight is on this wreath. It just says it's a magnetic wreath hanger. Won't scratch or rust door, non-slip coating. Use on metal doors. That doesn't have a weight on it. So my wreath is too heavy for this little magnetic hanger. Good thing I tested it out. I'm gonna have to find a different way to attach this. I think I know what I'm gonna do instead. Just gotta figure that out. So I'll be back as soon as I figure out how to hang my wreath on my door. All right, so I figured out how to hang the wreath up. I just have to find an actual wreath hanger. All I could find was the small over the door hanger, but I took two pieces of ribbon. I've got one going wrapping the door lengthwise and one around the width. So you can see I've got it kind of hung up. I've got the knots are kind of hidden under the wreath. Hold up my camera better, but my arm is just kind of hurting me a little bit right now. So I will show when I get the front step all done, I'll show you a better view of it, or maybe just give me a minute. Maybe I'll just do a better quick view in a second. Sorry, my neighbors are outside. I didn't really want to say anything again, so I just got it hanging up. I did dovetail all the little ends of the ribbons Again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.